Coconut Island was once thought to be a simple paradise, until sailors began to speak of it in hushed tones, calling it the island where coconuts never fall. They say that every time you hear that familiar thud of a coconut dropping, if you look, you find nothing but an empty patch of sand. The locals, of course, laugh it off. Coconuts just don't vanish, they say. But those who set foot on the island know better. The tale begins with Eddie Nutter McGraw, a sailor notorious for his wild stories and even wilder luck. Shipwrecked on Coconut Island after a terrible storm, Eddie found himself alone. The island seemed perfect, too perfect, towering coconut palms as far as the eye could see. An endless supply of fresh coconuts, just waiting to be cracked open. But not one ever seemed to hit the ground. Frustrated, Eddie spent days staring at the treetops, daring a coconut to fall. "I've seen a coconut drop before," he muttered to himself. "I'm not mad." But every time he heard that hollow thud, he rushed to the spot, only to find the sand pristine, untouched. As days turned into weeks, Eddie grew obsessed. He started naming the trees. Fred, Lucinda, Old Bess. He'd sit under Fred for hours, convinced that the tree was just messing with him. "Come on, Fred, drop one for me," he'd shout. But nothing. The coconuts, it seemed, had a mind of their own. One night, after another fruitless search for the elusive thud, Eddie noticed something strange. A mark on his hand. At first, it was a small spiral-like swirl. The next morning, it had grown into something more intricate, like the outline of a coconut, with tiny mocking eyes. The more he looked at it, the more the eyes seemed to squint in laughter. From then on, things got only weirder. The coconuts started to whisper, just faint enough that he couldn't make out the words, but clear enough to drive him mad. Every tree seemed to chuckle as he passed, their fronds swaying in a rhythm only he could hear. "Fred, was that you?" Eddie would ask. But the tree remained silent, and not a single coconut hit the ground. The final straw came when Eddie spotted a coconut. Halfway through its fall, hovering in mid-air, as if caught between the laws of gravity and a cosmic joke. He reached out to grab it, but as soon as his fingers brushed its shell, it vanished in a pool of laughter. "I knew it," Eddie yelled. "This island has gone coconutty." Years later, sailors claimed to see Eddie wandering the island, still muttering to himself, his hand marked by the coconut curse. He'd often be found shaking his fist at the sky, shouting at coconuts that would never land. But the real kicker, when someone left the island, they'd return to their ship find one single perfect coconut on deck, always slightly cracked open, always filled with nothing but the sound of faint laughter.